Hello, good evening. You're watching Awaz News. I'm Kubrali. We begin with the top stories shaping Canada today. Mississauga's largest sports and entertainment venue will be getting a new name after the city terminated its naming rights agreement with Paramount Fine Foods, which allegedly owes more than $1 million in payments, a claim the restaurant chain's founder called misleading. In a news release on Tuesday, the city announced that the Paramount Fine Foods Center at 5500 Rose Cherry Place will be temporarily named the Mississauga Sports and Entertainment Center starting June 1st, while it looks for a new naming partner. The city noted that the Mississauga-based restaurant owes a $1.6 million. The city noted that residents, tenants, and organizers should expect business as usual at the facility while staff update and on-site information. The city also shared that it would assume food service operations at the facility. The venue is home to the Toronto Raptors affiliate, the Raptors 905, which plays in the NBA G League. In 2018, the venue was renamed Paramount Fine Foods Center after the Mississauga restaurant signed a 10-year naming rights agreement with the city. In a social media post on Tuesday afternoon, the founder and president of Paramount Fine Foods, Mohammed Faki, said he was disappointed that the city released a misleading public statement about the end of their partnership. He added that his company has been ready and willing to pay the city for over 6 months. He added that his company has been working with city staff for months to finalize a mutually beneficial end to the partnership that ensures the citizens of Mississauga are protected and will not bear any burden in connection to Paramount. Faki questioned the city management's inexplicable decision to release a public statement without notice and in the middle of negotiations. He disputed the city's claims, saying they are a one-sided and misrepresentative version of the partnership's ending. On Tuesday morning, a smiling Faki posted a video of himself outside the center, which he said meant a lot to him, his company, and the city. Faki said the company decided to end the sponsorship and redirect its community investment towards new initiatives and opportunities across Mississauga. A motorcyclist has been seriously injured in a collision in Vaughan. York Regional Police say an SUV and motorcycle collided in the area of Keele Street and Langstaff Road shortly after 2 p.m. The motorcycle rider was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, police say. They note that the driver of the SUV was assessed for minor injuries. The cause of the collision is unknown. Toronto police arrested a fourth suspect in connection with the deadly November shooting that killed an 18-year-old man. In November of last year, police responded to the area of King Street West and Spadina Avenue after reports of a shooting. Police allege a group of males approaching a man and discharged their firearms, striking him. The man then allegedly returned fire, striking one victim. He was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The victim, identified as Dylan Adams, 18, of Toronto, was later dropped off at hospital, where he was pronounced dead, police said in a news release. Previously, police arrested 3 suspects wanting in the shooting. Frandy Noel, 27, of Toronto, was arrested a day after the shooting and charged with second-degree murder. On April 11, police arrested 22-year-old Xavier Boswell of Toronto and charged him with numerous offenses, including manslaughter, robbery with a firearm, and 3 counts of possession of restricted or prohibited firearm. On April 27, police announced the arrest of Issam Mohammed Rahim, 30, of Montreal. He was charged with multiple offenses, including unauthorized possession of firearm and possession of a firearm contrary to a prohibition order. The fourth suspect, identified as Stephen Bryce Pierre, 27, of Montreal, was previously wanted on a Canada-wide warrant. On Monday, officers from the Guns and Gangs Task Force arrested Pierre and charged him with accessory after the fact to discharge a firearm, being reckless to life, and several firearm-related offenses. The federal government is putting new border measures in place to prevent Ebola cases from spreading to Canada as the number of cases continues to rise in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Uganda, and South Sudan. Starting this week, people traveling from the affected regions will have to self-isolate for 21 days. Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada IRCC is also pausing final decisions on several immigration applications. In a technical briefing to reporters ahead of a press conference by the Health and Immigration Ministers, government officials said new measures are being implemented as of Saturday under the Quarantine Act. Starting May 30th, any Canadian citizens, permanent residents, individuals registered under the Indian Act, and foreign nationals who have been in the affected countries in the last 3 weeks will still be allowed to enter Canada, but they must undergo a health assessment upon arrival and comply with public health measures. Travelers with symptoms will be transferred to hospital for their medical assessment, and travelers without the symptoms must present a plan to self-isolate for 3 weeks. According to the World Health Organization, Ebola is rare in humans and transmitted through direct contact, though it is severe and often fatal. Disease is currently ravaging the DRC, where officials declared an outbreak earlier this month. The WHO is warning the type of Ebola currently being seen in DRC and Uganda has no vaccine or specific treatment, but says it's working on them. The IRCC is also implementing a slate of measures starting tomorrow to reduce the risk of the disease spreading to Canada, including temporarily suspending certain immigration documents by residents of the DRC, Uganda, and South Sudan. A motorcyclist has been seriously injured in a collision in Vaughan. York Regional Police say an SUV and a motorcycle collided in the area of Keele Street and Langstaff Road shortly after 2 p.m. The motorcycle rider was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, police say. They note that the driver of the SUV was assessed for minor injuries. The cause of the collision is unknown. Power has been fully restored following a widespread outage in downtown Toronto on Tuesday that impacted numerous traffic lights and at one point resulted in the electronic billboards outside the Eden Centre going dark. The outage, which was first reported just before noon, was the result of small fire at Hydro One's Torolly transmission station. It plunged parts of Toronto's financial district into darkness, with officials indicating that the outage was largely impacting an area between Yonge Street and University Avenue south of Dundas Street. By 2:30 p.m., Toronto Hydro confirmed that power has been restored to a large portion of impacted customers. The company then confirmed at 4 p.m. that power had been fully restored to the area. The utility company noted that approximately 1,360 customers were affected at the peak of the outage. Toronto Police previously confirmed that the outage was impacting numerous traffic lights and those intersections should be treated as four-way stops. Electronic billboards outside the Eden Centre were also blank at around noon on Tuesday. Toronto Metropolitan University said the power outage impacted some areas of the downtown campus and the students in some buildings including RAC, GORPOD, LIB, TRS, SLC, YNG, and YDI should evacuate immediately. All classes, labs, or exams being held in these buildings were paused until power was restored. Employees who work in those buildings were told to find an alternate place to work or take a break nearby until the power failure has been resolved. In a news release issued Tuesday, Hamilton police said their investigative work began in May of 2025 with the arrest of Brian Hayward. The 37-year-old contractor is facing dozens of charges for his alleged involvement in an online network of thousands of men who secretly drug and filmed their intimate partners and then share the videos of their sexual assaults around the world. As the investigation unfolded, police said they identified additional victims, which led to the arrest of third suspect, 43-year-old Gillis Richard. Police alleged that Richard became involved with Hayward online and arranged sexual encounters with adult victims. The victims were drugged without their knowledge and then allegedly sexually assaulted while they were intoxicated, police said. Richard was charged with gang sexual assault, administer a stupefying or overpowering drug, procuring, and failed to comply with probation. At least one other suspect in Geneva, Switzerland, was arrested last year in connection with the case following the W5 investigation. Meanwhile, Hayward is facing 60 charges in Hamilton and Calgary, Alta, for alleged crimes against more than a dozen Canadian women. Hayward's ex-wife, Chelsea Davies, who publicly identified herself as one of his victims in July of last year, previously accused her former husband of drugging their 11-year-old daughter in 2023. Medical records obtained by W5 showed that a toxicology report from the hospital at the time came back positive for the sedative benzodiazepine. Hayward has not been charged in connection with that incident. None of the charges have been tested in court. In a statement to Awaz News, Davis said, "The learning that another individual has been charged in connection with the case is deeply disturbing and difficult to process. Police are asking anyone who may have had contact with Richard or Hayward to contact them at 905-540-5545 or Crime Stoppers anonymously." That's for all tonight. This is Kubrali. You're watching Awaz News. Have a wonderful evening.